In the last video, we completed an example of an application written in JavaScript.
This video is brought to you by ObbyPie's Academy.
I want to go over 3 of the more common functions in JavaScript that I used during that application demo. The first one is called getElementById. As you know, HTML is made up of various elements. So here I'm typing a heading 1 element. And the element, of course, is comprised of the opening tag, the closing tag, and the content in between. Now, elements can also contain other elements. So if we have this div here ID'd as main that opens on line 7 and then we close below the heading 1, then the div element contains the h1 element. So there's kind of a hierarchy of elements. Now, when we want to use an element in JavaScript, we use the getElementById method. So let's go ahead and write a script here. And let's have this script run when the page loads. So we'll use the window onload equals function structure. And whatever I write between these curly braces will run when the page loads. And what we want to do is let's get the main element. So we'll say document getElementById. Now, when we get the element by ID, whatever we have in quotes here should refer to an element ID that's within the document. So we have div ID equals main. Here we're saying document getElementById main. Now, what we can do with this is we can now access that element and make changes to it via JavaScript. For example, we could say style.background color equals, and then we can set a specific background color. So let's go with a red here. That's the hex equivalent of red. So what's going to happen is when the page loads, it's going to grab the element main and change the style background color to red. Let's make sure this is saved here on the desktop so we can find it. So let's see here, desktop common.html. Perfect, there it is. And let's take a look at how this looks in the browser. And when this runs, it turns that background div red. So let's take a look at the result in the code all at once here. So here we said document getElementById main. That gets this element. And from the style object, we turn the background color red. We could make other changes here too. But again, we're using document getElementById main. Let's say style.font size equals 2M. Actually, let's make it 4M, make it really pronounced. So now, notice that this is applied. So the point here is when we use document getElementById, that's going to get any ID in the document. So let's say we had this, for example. This is paragraph 1. And this is paragraph 2. And we gave this one the ID para 1. We could grab getElementById para 1 and it won't affect the other paragraph. Style.font family equals Arial. So here, we're going to grab para 1, this element, and we're going to change its font family to Arial. And there you can see, this is paragraph 1. There it is in Arial. This is paragraph 2. And all the other things are being applied. So now, the other thing we used was Innerhtml. The Innerhtml allowed us to change the HTML within any element. So again, we're going to use document getElementById, And let's say we get main again, and we use Innerhtml, and I'm going to use plus equals, means to add to the existing HTML. And let's add h2. Here is more text. So what's going to happen when we get down here is it's going to grab the main element, and it's going to add to the Innerhtml this h2. So let's save, refresh, and here is more text. So that's coming from this guy right here, where we dynamically add more text. Now, you should be aware of something. When we make these changes, we're going to take a look at the developer tools here. We're actually affecting how the content is stored in what's called the DOM, the Document Object Model, which is essentially the browser's memory. So notice down here we have a representation of the code, and this is how the code is stored in the DOM. And you can see it's actually physically added the h2 element, here is more text, to the DOM. So it's changing how the HTML is represented in the browser's memory. So the third and final thing I want to go over here that's important as you code JavaScript is event listeners. And these respond to events that occur. These could be events that the user initiates, or these could be events that occur within the execution of your program. So let's say we have a button here, and I'll call it btn press as my ID, and it simply says press me. So we want to run a function called alert me when that button is pressed. And this will simply alert out, you have pressed the button. And that'll appear in a dialog box. But right now, there's nothing to say that when the button is pressed, that function's going to run. So again, we'll use document getElementById. by ID. This time we're getting btn press. And we're not setting the Innerhtml, we're not setting the style, but we're adding an event listener. And here, the first argument is going to be the event we're listening for, which is click. Next is going to be the function that's going to run, which is called alert me. There's a third argument that's almost always false. You'll know when it needs to be true, but probably not anytime during this particular course. So here, we've gotten btn press, that element. We've added an event listener to listen for the click event, which will run alert me. All right, so let's go ahead and run this guy one more time. Don't need this. We'll refresh, and our button will be down there. Press me, and there's you have pressed the button. All right, so we've gone over three real important facets of JavaScript here. Document getElementById, by ID, which gets any element in the HTML. Innerhtml, which can change the HTML in an element. And add event listener, which adds an event listener and response to any element within your document.